This is the food my grandma always cooks whenever someone in our family has a cough or a sore throat. It may sound hard to believe, but my grandma is now 97 years old. Over her lifetime, she has discovered four very effective foods that help relieve coughing and throat pain. The first dish is mung beans, cooked with white radish, to help soothe the throat. She also uses white radish soaked in honey as a natural cough remedy. She even combines apple and red onion to make a special drink for coughs and throat irritation. And finally, she soaks apples with ginger in white vinegar to create a powerful home remedy for stubborn coughs. Before we begin, may God bless you and your family. By the way, my dog also seems to really enjoy dishes made from beans. I think that's pretty funny. Let's get into the first tip. Tip 1. Mung beans and white radish. My grandma often says that when the weather turns cold and dry like this, the throat and respiratory system become very vulnerable. That's why she usually combines mung beans, radish, and pear to make a nourishing dish that clearly helps reduce coughing and phlegm. Now I will handle the mung beans first. The sound of the beans falling into the glass bowl is very pleasant to hear. When buying mung beans, I try to choose beans that are large and even in size. But there are always some bad beans and some with holes eaten by insects, so I pick them out and remove them. Now I just need to add water and rinse them briefly to clean off the dust. My grandma always reminds me that mung beans have a cooling nature and help soothe the throat, which feels very comforting. That's why I really like dishes made from mung beans. Next, I will prepare the pear. Because I will cook the pear with the skin on, I need to wash it carefully. In my family, we have a tradition of using pink salt to clean fruits and vegetables before eating, because my grandma always believes this helps remove many unwanted things that the naked eye cannot see. My grandma often reminds me not to throw away the pear skin, because the skin contains many important nutrients. It helps soothe the throat and reduce phlegm, and can partly help improve coughing. My pear today has a slightly darkened skin. I really should have chosen a nicer one. Don't be like me. Choosing your fruit carefully before buying is actually very important, if you want to make a dish that looks beautiful and is truly nourishing. With this pear, I only need to remove the hard core inside. I will keep the skin and cut it into small pieces so it's easier to eat. My grandma is already 97 years old, so she usually puts all the pear into a blender and blends it smooth so she doesn't have to chew. But my teeth are still strong, and the kids in my family like bigger pieces, so I will cut it this way. After cutting the pear, I will soak it in cold water to keep it crisp and prevent it from turning brown. Now there is only one ingredient left, the white radish. This one is very good for treating coughs. I also sprinkle a little salt to wash it, following my family's tradition. And just like pear skin, the skin of white radish also contains fiber and nutrients that are good for the body. So I wash it carefully so it's clean and safe to eat. The radish looks a little dark on the outside, but that's okay. It probably went through a lot during transportation, so the skin got bumped and bruised, which made it look dark, not because it's dirty. I will cut the radish the usual way. It really depends on each person's eating preference. I will cut it into bigger pieces because I like to eat large chunks. As for my grandma, she just puts everything into the blender and blends it in one go, so she doesn't have to chew much and get her mouth tired. By the way, where are you watching this video from? I'd love to connect with everyone from all around the world. Next, I'll prepare a small handful of goji berries. These are truly like a miracle food for older adults. Because they have so many wrinkles, dust can easily get trapped inside. So I add a little powder and wash them with water to clean them thoroughly. Do I look a bit OCD, washing everything so carefully? But goji berries are really amazing. I often see my grandma use them to make tea and cook soups. Even though they are not very strong for treating coughs, they are great for improving sleep and boosting immunity to help fight off illness. They are used very widely in many Asian cultures, including Japan. Now the 3 main ingredients are ready. I'll boil a pot of water first. Once the water is boiling, I just add the mung beans and cook them until they become softer. When the beans are soft, I add the radish and pear into the pot. Near the end, I add a little goji berry to make the dish more nourishing. Cooking for my family feels really wonderful. The smell of this dish is very gentle and comforting. Just smelling it for a moment already makes my body feel more relaxed. Now I'll enjoy it while it's still hot. My grandma has a close friend in Japan, and she told her that in Asia, people often treat illnesses with food rather than medicine. For example, when someone has a sore throat, doctors may give herbs or plants to brew into tea to help heal the body. My grandma thinks this way is very good. This mung bean and radish dish is also like a small remedy, but not medicine. I've tried it myself, and I can really feel my throat becoming more comfortable and the phlegm reducing. It's not as fast as medicine from the pharmacy, but the good thing is that it has no side effects and is very easy to use. Moving on to the next tip, I'll continue using white radish and soak it to make a dish that is very good for relieving cough and respiratory problems. Tip 2. White radish and honey. In winter, the weather becomes very dry and harsh, and it's really unfriendly to our respiratory system. Hearing my family members coughing makes me feel sorry for them. So in this tip, I'll share my grandma's honey-soaked radish recipe to help relieve cough, soothe the throat, and gently moisturize the lungs. This time, I will cut the radish into small cubes so it can be soaked easily. My grandma really loves white radish. It has a cooling nature, a gentle sweetness, and is known for nourishing the lungs. White radish is also rich in vitamins and zinc, which helps strengthen the immune system. That's why cutting it small and soaking it in honey is just perfect. Whenever we need it, we can simply take it out and eat it. Very convenient. Now I add a little honey. My grandma often tells me that people in the past like to soak many ingredients in honey because it could help treat quite a few illnesses. But for me, as long as it tastes good, that's already enough. I really enjoy the flavor of honey. I should say thank you, and even sorry, to the bees for giving us such a big bowl of honey. This dish is very easy to make. Just mix the radish with honey like this, and it's done. Now I'll prepare a very clean jar so I can soak it properly. My grandma taught me that there are 2 ways to sterilize a jar. One is to soak it in hot water like this for 5 minutes. The other is to rinse it with alcohol. But I don't really like using alcohol, so boiling water feels like the better choice for me. Now that the jar is clean, my grandma reminds me that I must always wait until it is completely dry before soaking anything inside. Even a little water can easily cause mold and spoilage, so everything has to be done calmly. Now everything is ready. I'll put all the honey-soaked radish into this jar. After that, it's an easy job with a great reward. Just let it rest in the fridge for about 2 days and it will be ready to eat. But I won't tell you what it tastes like yet. I'll save that surprise for you. That's what makes it fun. This dish is incredibly easy to use. One jar like this is enough for me to enjoy for an entire week. Whenever I need it, I just open the fridge and there's delicious radish ready to eat. Over time, the radish juice slowly blends into the honey. All I need to do is scoop 1 spoonful of this mixture into a small cup, add a thin slice of yellow lemon, and I instantly have a refreshing morning drink. It's so convenient. And those coughing sounds and sore throats will have no choice but to disappear. Before we move on to the next tip, I wish you good health and joyful moments with your children and loved ones by your side. May God bless you and your family. Tip 3. Apples and red onions. With this third tip, I will share how my grandma combines apple and red onion to make a drink that helps reduce cough and ease colds. This drink is very easy to drink and does not have the strong, spicy taste of onion at all. The ingredients are really simple. I will chop both the apple and the onion into small pieces and put everything into the blender. If you want it sweeter, you can add more apple. But if you want it to support your health more, you should add more onion, even though the taste will be a bit stronger. When I blend a lot of onion like this, the mixture turns a beautiful purple color. But the flavor is quite strong and may be harder to drink. And this is what it looks like when I use less onion and more apple. My grandma says this lighter color is the perfect balance and much easier to drink. Now there is just one last step, cooking the mixture for a short time. At first, I cook it over high heat so it boils quickly. Once it starts boiling, I turn the heat down to the lowest level so the nutrients are not destroyed by high temperature. My grandma usually cooks this for about 10 minutes and says that whenever she has a cough or a cold, drinking a warm cup of this onion drink makes her feel much better. And it's true. I've drunk this many times and the results are really wonderful. Of course, the taste is not as good as other drinks, but people always say that bitter medicine cures illness. Before moving on to the final tip, thank you so much for watching this video. I'd really love to know what you're thinking. Would you like to share it with everyone in the comments? Tip 4. Soak apples and ginger in vinegar. In this final tip, I'll share how my grandma soaks ginger and apple in vinegar to treat coughs very effectively. And the method is extremely simple. I've already prepared a few small, cute slices of ginger. But any parts that look too dark or too damaged, my grandma tells me to peel them off because they may contain things we don't want. If they go into the vinegar, they could even spoil the whole jar, which would be a disaster. So I peel the ginger a bit more carefully. I wash the ginger very clean because later I will soak it with the skin on. With this piece of ginger, I cut it according to my personal preference. I like to eat ginger in slices, so I leave the pieces a bit bigger. But my mom likes to cut them very small. My mom and I argue about this all the time, and neither of us ever gives in. Now the apple and ginger are ready. It's time to soak them. I'll go find a really nice jar for this. This time, I'll use white alcohol to sterilize it. I just need to shake it gently so the alcohol coats the inside of the jar evenly. But as you can see, the jar is still a bit wet and not completely dry yet. This is very dangerous because it could ruin the whole jar of soaked ginger. After putting the ginger and apple into the jar, I just need to pour in enough white vinegar to fully cover them. My grandma tells me to choose naturally fermented white vinegar for the best result. Just store it in the fridge for 5 days and it will be ready to eat. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you enjoyed this video, please take a moment to watch more videos on the channel and don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss any new tips in the future.